let's talk about some Micromasters. Micromasters are Transformers, but small. I know that's a lot to take in, but just bear with me. Although a Transformer but small isn't as unique a premise anymore, the original Micromasters from 1989 to 1990 were a response to Micro Machines, which were similarly very small, easily inhalable cars. I had a handful of G1 Micromasters as a kid and I really liked them, so I was really pleased when some of them showed up in the PO box. Big thanks to Lord Hedgepig, by the way. This included an entire team, so let's have a look at the Off-Road Patrol. These 4 bots were sold together in a 4-pack, as was the style at the time. Size-wise, they're very small, micro, you could say. Even G1 Warpath towers over them. First, let's have a look at the team leader, Powertrain, who you may recognise from one of last month's videos as he was redecoed into the original Ironworks a little while after this. His truck mode is nice, even if 2 of his wheels don't actually touch the ground, and his transformation is the simplest of the whole team as it's 90% just standing him up. However, he does look decent enough in robot mode with a commanding expression on his tiny face. Probably, it's quite small and my eyes aren't quite as good as they used to be. Although I feel I should mention his shoulders since they're a bit weird. The actual joints are behind his head, so when you put them up far enough, they do this. And I'm pretty sure that shoulders aren't supposed to do that. Next up is the resident hothead of the group, Mudslinger, who is a snazzy blue monster truck. And due to the orange peeking out, you can see that he shares the same plastic colours with Powertrain. This is just how those old Micromaster Patrol releases were. From what I can tell, the 4 members of each set were split into 2 pairs for moulding, so each 2 would share the same colours. Anyway, a quick transformation later and you can see why we don't get monster truck transformers super often, as those wheels are not easy to hide. They're just kinda there. Although I do quite like his chest detail, reminds me of an upside down version of Gear's head, or possibly Cyclonus' cockpit, or maybe even something that isn't related to Transformers. And then we have High Jump, who is unavoidably the least fun looking in vehicle mode, as he's just a little chunk of grey with a pretty mean visible hinge on the roof. Although he probably has the most interesting transformation of the group, as his back wheels are on a little hinge, and the way it all works allows him to be the only one of the team whose chest isn't just the bit hidden underneath his alt mode. His arms do make me laugh though, because no matter what the lies of his artwork might tell you, he isn't going to be able to reach anything with those little stumps. The only thing High Jump's grabbing is the side of his own arse. Finally, we have what looks like a tiny Ironhide, but is in fact Tote. You know, Tote. Like a bag. How on earth did they manage to make this tiny alt mode neater than, like, Earthrise Ironhides? Anyway, his transformation is probably the fiddliest of the patrol, as his legs need to be pushed back on a slider halfway through their rotation, but, you know, fiddly for an OG Micromaster is basically anything that's more than 2 steps. And yeah, I think Tote is my favourite of the group, as his robot mode is just as well realised as his vehicle mode. With arms that work vaguely like arms, he's just the one that requires the least amount of imagination to see the character in there, even if his artwork is, once again, mostly lies. Overall, I like the Off-Road Patrol a lot. My quibbles are ones that I'd have with pretty much any of the Micromaster Patrols, and they did phenomenally well to scale down transformations this much with late 80s toy technology, and they're still a lot of fun to mess around with. My only real issue with them is that I think as a group their colour schemes are perhaps not the most exciting, but then again one of the other ones I was sent was G1 Barricade, so everything looks a little plain next to him. So if you happen to be time travelling to the year 1989, then I can definitely recommend picking up the Off-Road Patrol, or indeed any of the Micromaster teams. Or I suppose you could just pick them up on eBay, that's also an option.